has what it takes to be considered title challengers. This, a meeting of two traditional powerhouses that could signpost destiny.
Ekitike, he's in, and he scores! Welcome to the Premier League! Welcome to Anfield! Look at what about this? What a moment! The 16-year-old with almost the last kick! There's Gyökeres, moving out to the left. It's Victor Gyökeres! That is what he is all about! New faces, new shirts, same burning desire. To be the best, you have to beat the best. Roberto Firmino! Saka! This is Mo Salah. Martinelli. This one's not a drill. This is not a rehearsal. This game is the real thing.
The real thing indeed. The top two from last season set it up for us because Liverpool-Arsenal clashes, the last 5, have given us 4 draws. They've been highly competitive. I think the only one produced a winner.
Yeah, it's interesting actually because the good news for Arsenal fans is they're unbeaten in the last 6 at Anfield. The bad news is that they haven't won at Anfield for 13 years. But on top of all of that, they go there in there for a long time. Defensively, the best defence in the Premier League last season. I think not a lot of attention has been paid to the fact that Arsenal have invested in Zubimendi, who's an outstanding defensive midfielder, and Mosquera as well, the Spanish international centre-back. That kind of signing gives them the platform to allow the front 6 to go and do what they do best. And that's the reason why I give Arsenal a really good chance this weekend.
Well, let's talk about Liverpool because naturally defending champions and they've started really well, come through a very difficult game on Monday night with all the drama off field as well, the Alexander Isak battle, and won 3-2. Rio Ngamoa at such a young age, scoring such a big goal.
It's always important when you're a young player and you come into a game like that, you want to try and have an impact. What was amazing for me is the composure he took to put that in the back of the net because it comes off a dummy. So that means he's got good chemistry with his players already. And the technique on the finish to just wrap it into the side netting without taking a touch, it just shows you how confident the young lad is.
I asked you before the show, when you made your debut, you were saying you were 17. You're in that moment, you've got the opportunity not just to score a goal, but the winning goal in a massive match. You will know what's going through his mind, won't you?
Yeah, you're just thinking, especially at a young age, work the keeper, hit the target, just try to make good connection. And he hit the ball exactly where he wanted it to go. And that isn't an easy chance. We've seen loads of regular, everyday professionals miss chances like that, and some even closer. But he knew exactly what he was doing. He anticipated that his player was going to dummy that ball as well. He knew with all his confidence how he was going to take that technically, and you can just see it. It's almost like he relaxed. We used to always say Núñez never takes his time, he never breathes. It's almost like as that ball was coming, he just went, took a deep breath and just stroked it, just looked for pure connection.
Yeah. One of the other positive points for Liverpool in that game was obviously Ekitike. I mean, he has hit the ground running in this league.
I think I like him as a player because the first thing I've got to say is that I was very surprised when Liverpool signed him because he looked very much as though he was going to go to Newcastle as the replacement for Alexander Isak. And I thought it was all going to be very straightforward. We're signing your replacement and we want Alexander Isak, which actually made me laugh. But the composure he shows here in the first 2 games says to me that he is going to be an upgrade on Darwin Núñez. If you think about the numbers of goals that Liverpool scored last season and the number of chances that Núñez missed, if they are converted like that by him, Liverpool are going to be formidable this season.
It's just crazy. Like, it's almost like they've carried on where they left off last season in terms of clinicalness in front of goal. They don't need that many chances or half chances to make them count. And I think in that Newcastle game, in many ways, it kind of showed that. There wasn't like loads and loads of chances on target, but the ones that they had, they truly tried to make count. And for me, the more I look at it and see everything, I don't now sitting here understand why they want to buy Isak. Really? I think no, because they're too much of the same player, Darren. Like, normally if you're a team, you have 2 strikers, yes, yeah. I get that, but one's a little bit different to the other.
Yes.
But when I watch these 2 strikers, to me, they play so similar in terms of the way they move around the defences, the way they can come short, link up, they can go behind, they can both dribble. They're both what? He's about 6'2" as well.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with all of that, and it's kind of hard to sit here and debate with a guy who played with Didier Drogba. Allow me, if you're watching around the world, allow me for a second. I just think as far as they're concerned, if you think about, I want to cast your mind back to 1999 and Manchester United. They won the league with their Dwight York, 20-goal-a-season man, Andy Cole, 20-goal-a-season man, Teddy Sheringham and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, both of whom were decisive in the Champions League final. And I think if you are going to win silverware, you have to have a pool of strikers. You can have one man, but if that one man is out, you're done. I think if you have two guys who can do a fabulous job, what you're doing is maintaining a standard.
I'm not saying don't sign a striker. I'm saying they don't need to be exactly the same.
No, I agree.
Because there's no real difference.
I just think Isak is the kind of striker you sign at any cost. Any cost. We saw that last season. He's decisive, he can score. He's a Thierry Henry type player. And I think
Ekitike is doing the same thing right now.
That's what everyone's saying about him. Yeah, he's giving
is
Henry.
doing the same thing.
Yeah. They're coming for everything, Liverpool. I think if there is any criticism of Liverpool in the opening two games, it's the goals that they've conceded.
I think Kanate's been a little bit wobbly. Kirkes hasn't hit the ground as well as people thought he would. But I think the massive key is Gravenberch and McAllister missing from in front of them. I think because of the fullback's goal, the centre-backs are pretty much left open with only one of them playing
I'm so glad you said that, because lots of people feel that the solution is a Mark Gahey, for example, another centre-half, but it's the protection for the back four that they're lacking.
It helps them with their decisions, when to go, when to drop off. If they go past him, they can read that, so they can tackle that. But when it's not there, you're just running backwards, and as you can see in some games, they're just like swarms of players running at you, and it's hard to decide which one. Like that goal is a bit different, but this one here with Semenya running through, look, there's four of them and two defenders. Liverpool, you can't defend that. It doesn't matter how good you are. Kanate, Virgil, you can't stop that.
So uncharacteristic of them as well, and a lot of those on the break. This one here from a set piece. What does that say about what's coming up on Sunday?
Well, it says that Arsenal can go into the match really confident. You have to go back to the last, 1925 for the last time they won their first three without conceding. But they do know where the goal is. And I think having Gyökeres means that Liverpool have got a different problem to the one they normally have each season when they play Arsenal. He's a threat, he's got movement, he's got physicality. You can probably speak far better than I can to why that will be an asset for them. But is a target in the 6-yard box.
And the hair flicks. Don't forget the hair.
I can't talk about that.
Sorry, I didn't mean it. I really loved that, because there was this narrative building around Victor Gyökeres, and just hearing other fans saying, well, he's not as good, and he had more touches of his hair against Man United than he did on the actual ball. How important was it for him to score those goals then? And also, how difficult is it for Arsenal to play with an actual number 9 to adapt to that?
Well, they're still, listen, it's going to take them time to learn how to play with him. It's going to take him time to learn how to play with them. The number of touches on the ball does not bother me in the slightest. We saw when Haaland arrived at Manchester City, there were games when he had single-figure touches on the ball and scored 2 or 3 goals. I think as long as those touches for him are decisive, nothing will matter.
Do you know who I think will benefit? Eze.
Yeah.
Because he's been used to playing with that target number 9, Mateta. And he plays those bounce passes, the 1-2s, and he plays them in. Gyökeres loves to run into space. Eze will create space for him and find those passes.
You've been a winger, so you know. What is it you're looking for in terms of the movement? Are they making your mind up for you, or are you trying to get them onto a tasty ball into the 6-yard box, 18-yard box?
A lot of wingers are different now, though, Darren. They want to take too many touches, or they want to do a step over. Sometimes you can get the ball out your feet and put that ball in that dangerous area, and the strikers will go. People like Gyökeres, Sesko, Holland, they will go. It's when you take too many touches, it can kind of mess up their run, and then you see they're not in the box, they're not trying to go forward. It's because they don't know when the ball's coming. But if they know you're going to put that ball in, they go.
So the anticipation, you eventually develop that.
Didier just said to me, Sean, I know you do it anyway, but I just want to remind you. Get the ball at your feet, put it in. Even if it's a bad ball, it'll make it a good one.
Listen, I know Mikel Arteta was pretty evasive today in his press conference. He didn't want to say too much because he's got Odegaard out injured. And, you know, they asked him, so Eze goes straight into 10, and he didn't want to say, but he probably does, right? He goes straight into the starting lineup at Anfield. And then what does that say to you about Arsenal's strength and depth now?
It's getting to the place where they've been wanting it to be. I think because normally people leave and they don't replace them, whereas now people are leaving, they're replacing and still building on top of that. And to bring in a player like Eze on top of what they've already brought in, like, that's telling you they're in the run for this title. And it's going to take a lot to knock them off the perch. Because as Darren said, for me, over the last 2 or 3 years, they've probably had the best defence in the Premier League. And for whatever reason, they just can't win the Premier League. So this year, they've got the tools to do it. It's just whether they're all put together rightly.
Important one, obviously, and you want to continue and building the momentum that we are in right now, and going to those grounds, those stadiums against this kind of opposition is what we want, and come from those big games winning in a really convincing way. That's the objective.
One thing that stands out in the season till now, and what stands out in a negative way for us, is that we've conceded, if I include the Bilbao game, 4 set pieces. And of course, as we all know, that's one of their strengths, not the strength, but one of their strengths, because they can play in multiple ways. You can see how well they are managed by Miguel, and they're working for 5 years together because they can play almost every style there is in football, and that tells you how well managed they are.
Well, because Liverpool can't keep a clean sheet to save their life. And I'll be shocked if all of a sudden somebody waves a magic wand and all the problems are fixed. I'll just be shocked. And this Liverpool side have shown that in the 3 games, including the Charity Shield, when they're not anywhere close to what we think they can be, they scored 9 goals without playing well as a team. So you give Liverpool a sniff, and they'll take their opportunities. But I can't see Liverpool keeping a clean sheet. And I know Arsenal haven't. I think Mikel Arteta was playing for the last Arsenal team that won at Anfield. But I'm not feeling confident at all.
You're not, and everybody else has pretty much gone for a draw, bar one person, and that would be Ali Moreno.
Oh, well.
Ali, you've gone for a Liverpool win. Tell us why.
Well, I must be honest with you. I initially had it as 1-1, but I didn't want to sit on the fence, so I had to pick a winner. And in picking a winner, I felt like Liverpool at home, while they will give up opportunities, they'll do just enough defensively. And of course, I think offensively they can be explosive. We keep talking about Liverpool not playing all that well, and yet they continue to score goals. And so they will score goals. It's just a question as to what they do in the back. They will give up a goal, but not multiple, and that's why I have Liverpool winning 2-1. Having said all that, I think both teams would take a draw right now.
I don't think we'll play on Sunday or the guard. We're not sure there's another day of training. Mikel Arteta said tomorrow, obviously, and then we will know a little bit more. That's a shame, because we saw Saka being very good for an hour or so against Leeds with that goal. It's a bit of a shame that on the Liverpool side, Frimpong is out too, and we saw Bradley coming back for the last 30 minutes against Newcastle, and Szoboszlai starting at right back. Who's going to start at right back? Florian Wirtz is still adapting to his new team, hasn't been at his best. Mo Salah hasn't been at his best either for Liverpool. So it's 2 teams, as we've been saying, that are not yet playing at their best, with a superstar at their best either, which makes it even more interesting, really, and even more fascinating when you think that maybe when they play the return fixture at the Emirates later in the season, then yeah, they will be at full strength, full power, playing at their best. But for now, it's not the case, which makes this game quite uncertain. You don't really know, even tactically, how it will go. Set pieces could be obviously a big factor.
Arsenal versus Liverpool. What will decide the winner? When Arsenal visit Anfield this Sunday, it won't just be a battle of 2 unbeaten sides. It will be a test of nerve, precision, and big game moments. Liverpool hold the home advantage, where their pressing and high tempo often suffocate opponents. But Arsenal arrive with renewed confidence, sharper in midfield, and boasting attacking flair that can break defensive lines. The outcome will hinge on 3 factors: who controls the midfield battle, whether Liverpool's backline can handle Arsenal's pace on the counter, and which goalkeeper rises under pressure. Both sides create chances, but it's the team that stays ruthless in front of goal that will triumph. One thing is certain: This clash has all the ingredients of a season-defining classic.